So we're all looking for like many ways to make money. So you'd see different people doing different things. I, for one, I'm an employee. I work as a full-time staff and I go to work every day from 9 to 5. I still have my business, which you've talked about. I still have my social impact program. I still have life coaching that I do. I still have a family that I run. I have 3 kids, and the rest. So there's a lot that we're doing at the same time. And it's so important to really look at leadership holistically, because if we don't look at a way to balance it out, we're going to eventually break down.
Our first speaker will be joining us very soon, and she's going to be talking about holistic leadership. And I'm curious to know why she chose that topic, holistic leadership. Why holistic leadership? Why not just leadership? And she is a seasoned supply chain expert specializing in the humanitarian and development sector. She holds a bachelor's degree in logistics management and a master's degree in transport planning and management. She is the visionary behind 2 impactful ventures, African Wears, a groundbreaking fashion, photography, and makeup studio, and the Hub for Queens Initiative, a platform through which she has mentored over 120 women in the past decade. So our girl is busy and in a good way. So what else do we want to know about Chiamaka before I bring her on stage? With a wealth of experience in supply chain management and a passion for empowering others, Chiamaka brings a unique perspective to the intersection of business and social impact. As a speaker and life coach, she shares insights gleaned from my diverse professional journey, inspiring audiences with her dedication to fostering growth and inclusion within the entrepreneurial landscape. So without further ado, I am going to bring wonderful Chiamaka to the stage. Welcome to be as our first guest in August. Please give thumbs up to Chiamaka. Welcome, sis. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Awesome. So I read your profile and I'm like, this is such an amazing perspective to look at. Most people are thinking more about profit. You're thinking more about empowering people. And today you are going to talk to us about holistic leadership. So one question before I get started. Why do you want to think about the impact between those 2 things? What led you to try and bridge the gap between these 2 intersections? So you have these 2 intersections that people don't see, business and social impact. Why?
Okay, because at the end of the day, what's really the point of doing business? I know many times we're thinking about the money, but how do we make money if we're not really making impact? Because to be honest, everybody is thinking about what is in it for me. So if you're coming to the business front and you're coming with your own personal interest, at the end of the day, it will be difficult to make that money because you want to really offer people something that is valuable, that they can be able to part with their money, Sure. So basically, that's one of the main reasons why at the end of the day, no matter what we do in making money, we must always find a way to create value, to create impact, to make a change. That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I love that perspective. So without further ado, I will hand over the stage to you.
Thank you so much. Okay, great. So today I'll be talking about the power of holistic leadership, balancing personal mastery with professional excellence. I know when we talk about holistic leadership, it's like there's a lot. So I'm going to just focus on some aspects. But before I go further, let me talk about what holistic leadership is about. So holistic leadership is an approach to leadership that emphasizes on the importance of balancing personal and professional growth, investing in oneself, and at the same time investing in other people, and fostering a collaborative and supportive culture. Why is this important? And why am I speaking about this today? Because in today's world, and even in the country that most of us, I believe, we're in Nigeria, many of us or some of us, And with the general global economic challenges, everybody is doing a lot to make money. We're all looking for how to expand our financial leverage. Yeah. So we're all looking for like many ways to make money. So you'd see different people doing different things. I, for one, I'm an employee. I work as a full-time staff and I go to work every day from 9 to 5. I still have my business, which you've talked about. I still have my social impact program. I still have life coaching that I do. I still have a family that I run. I have 3 kids, and the rest. So there's a lot that we're doing at the same time. And it's so important to really look at leadership holistically, because if we don't look at a way to balance it out, we're going to eventually break down. Something would have to give at the end of the day. So that's why I'm focusing on this today. I cracked my brain a lot about what to talk about today, but holistic leadership is my forte. So I decided to just stick with it. Introduction. As leaders, we are constantly balancing professional demands with personal growth. Today, I want to share how we can integrate personal mastery with leadership and still create lasting impact. This is not just about being successful at work. It's about thriving in all areas of our life. Holistic leadership is basically about leading with your whole self. Every one of us are leaders. As far as you're a speaker, you are definitely a leader. Most times, in almost everything you're doing, you are leading something. You're leading someone. You are leading at some point. So holistic leadership is not just leading with our body, like being physically present, but being mentally, spiritually present, and the entirety of your being involved in your leadership. So I'm focusing on 5 main pillars today: emotional intelligence, purpose, resilience, well-being, and legacy. These elements differentiate the good leaders from the great leaders. So we don't just want to be good leaders. At the end of the day, we want to be great leaders, right? Let's look at emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the heart of leadership. It underpins all leadership. It's about understanding yourself and at the same time understanding people. Who would be a leader without emotional intelligence? How is that even possible? I'll be giving a few tips and practices that we can just take back. At the end of the day, I know that no matter what I talk about today, if we don't take at least one thing to go back with, we would all have wasted our time. That's the truth. And I don't want us to waste our time, So please, if we can just pick at least one thing today and just say, okay, this one, I'm going to work on it so that this 45 minutes that Amaka spent here will not be a waste of my time and hers, right? One of the things I want us to go back with is like practicing self-awareness, recognizing our emotions and their impact on others and even on ourselves. So the other thing is practicing mindfulness. From time to time, it would be nice as leaders to pause and reflect, especially when we're in situations that are, and I believe that this has been happening recently. There's a lot of emotions on the rise. There are a lot of things happening in our professional and personal lives. And many times it's important to just pause and reflect. And it would help us to be better leaders, both personally and professionally. Secondly, I want to talk about leading with purpose, aligning our values and our vision. Purpose-driven leaders focus on impact and not just profits. I already talked about it earlier when our host asked the question. At the end of the day, profit is important, but how do we make profit if we're not making impact? We've heard many times that many companies that are in the world, that are doing things and making a lot of money, they're making a lot of money because they're solving a particular problem. So at the end of the day, how do we make profit if we're not solving a problem? In every area of our work and our lives generally, as holistic leaders, we want to be looking at what impact am I making? What am I really offering people at the end of the day? And this is something I do. I run a brand that is it's kind of hard to really find a way to say, okay, I'm really making some kind of impact, because we're doing clothing, we're doing pictures, and we're doing beauty, makeup. So these are just seemingly regular stuff at the end of the day, or somebody just wants to change their outfit and all that. But many times I sit with my team and I tell them that at the end of the day, what value are we bringing to people? So when we're packaging our offers, we're not just packaging offers with, oh, come and buy clothes, come and buy this, come and buy that. We're actually thinking, what extra value are we bringing to the table? What problems are we solving? What challenges are people having in this area of our work that we are solving? So at the end of the day, that is impactful. And secondly, I want to talk about aligning personal values with professional mission, right? We have our business mission, our business vision, our business goals and objectives. At the end of the day, for us to be holistic leaders, we have to find a way that our personal values align with our business values. This is because you want to show up at work knowing that you are your full self. Because sometimes we come to work and maybe we're just working because, like my day job, there are times when, because I've been working here for like 6 years. So within 6 years, there are times when I feel so drained. I'm like, I'm just coming to work and just meeting up to my daily deadlines, and I'm not really fulfilling anything. So I have to go back to the drawing board and look at, okay, why am I really working here? At the end of the day, what is my real purpose here? How does this align with my personal goals? How does this align with my personal values? How does this align with my identity? And it helps me come back to work refreshed, knowing that I'm really making an impact. I'm not just coming to work to make money and go home, right? And it helps to align your personal values with your professional mission. It helps you as an holistic leader. So an action we can take is to identify our core values and align them with our leadership style. This is a take home. In most of the slides, you're going to see at least one action step. So yeah. So we're going to talk about resilience and agility, thriving amidst change. Change is a constant thing. Change is so constant. Like today, everything is going well, and the next day you're like, well, what's really happening? Why is there chaos in my life? And at the end of the day, you need resilience as a holistic leader. Resilience is essential in today's fast-paced world. It's about bouncing forward with new insights, no matter what comes your way. We all go through things. I added this note. I don't know why I didn't highlight it, because it just came to me when I was putting together this slide. And we all go through things. However, we have the choice to not allow these things go through us. We can't choose what happens to us, but we can choose what takes root in us, So at the end of the day, things will happen, but we would decide to not allow them get to us and affect our work and our life. We do this by continually pushing forward no matter what, because things will happen. Change will come, chaos will come, unplanned situations will come, but we must insist to not allow these things get to us. We have to be open to embracing change with a growth mindset. Sometimes when things happen and then they are different, I like to go back and ask myself, what am I supposed to be learning in this season? Because we never grow above learning. So we have to embrace change with a growth mindset. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn. So the action here is to continuously learn, to understand that chaos will happen, change will happen, things will happen in my life that I am not in control of. However, what I can do is to learn and adapt quickly to be able to forge on. That's where resilience comes in. So the next thing we're looking at is well-being. I told myself that I won't take more than 30 minutes so that we can have a short time for Q&A. So we're wrapping up soon. So another thing is well-being. For me, well-being is the backbone of sustainable leadership. If you are not okay, how do you create impact? Remember, it's you You are the main person here. How do you create impact if you are not okay? So leadership starts with taking care of oneself. You want to look into the energy that you are controlling or maximizing, you're accepting or utilizing, and look at your focus and creativity. All these things, they depend on your well-being. So prioritize self-care. This is an action, a take-home. Prioritize self-care. You are important. Prioritize sleep, exercise. As a holistic leader that wants to balance out your professional and personal life and just be okay, you want to prioritize self-care. Sleep, exercise, mindful breaks, and all that, they're important. So something you want to take back and reflect on is, what is that one change that I can make today to enhance my well-being? What is that one thing I can make today? For me, I like the idea of going to the gym. I like the idea of exercising. I like how it makes me look fit. But I've noticed that sometimes when I notice that I'm naturally slimming down, I don't remember to go back to exercise because I'm like, I don't even have the time. So, but then remembering that this one thing, which is taking my fitness journey seriously, is going to impact not just my physical health, but my mental health. So it's not just about looking good. It's about feeling good. It's about having the strength that I need to continue to push forward in every other thing that I do. So this is the reflection that we can take back. What is that one thing I can do today? And without excuses, no reasons. I know that this is good for me. This will help my life and I will do it. So we should take that into consideration and do something about that as holistic leaders. Creating a legacy. The lasting impact of holistic leadership is in creating a legacy. Legacy is about the difference you make in others' lives today, not just what you leave behind. I know many times when we talk about legacy, it's like, when I leave this world, what's going to happen? What will people remember me for? What will people remember me for now? What impact am I creating now? What legacy am I creating now? Not about when I leave this world. When I leave this world, the legacy I've even created now would be what people would remember me for. So at the end of the day, it's not about thinking about what people will remember me for when I'm gone. It's about thinking about what people will remember me for today. When my name is mentioned anywhere, what will people think about me? When people call my name, what do people say about me? That's legacy. So it's about the difference we are making in other people's lives in this moment, right in this moment. So we want to focus on leadership with impact by nurturing talent, nurturing people, and fostering a culture of overall growth. We already know that as leaders, we have to foster a culture of overall growth. But now it's not just about randomly, but why? Because we want to leave a legacy today, now. We want to make a change today, now. We want to see difference in people's lives today, now. Finally, reflection. What impact do you want your leadership to have on present and future generations? That's something to think about. What impact do I want my leadership to have on present and future generations? Remember, this is not just about work. This is about your overall life. You meet youths every day. For those who have children, you have children who are looking up to you. For those who have family members, you have family members who are looking up to you, younger and older. At the end of the day, what impact do I, as a person, want my leadership to have on generations? Conclusions and call to action. So today, we explored how mastering ourselves can elevate our leadership. This is a challenge I want us to take on. Commit to one concept from today. I said this in the beginning. It is so important to me that we commit to one concept from today. Just pick, you don't necessarily have to utilize everything here, but just pick one thing. If it's mindfulness, if it's legacy, if it's self-care, just pick one thing and say, today I'm going to prioritize this thing and just make it something that I will do to become a more holistic leader and integrate that into our leadership journey and our overall lifestyle. Final thoughts to take home. Do not lead with just your body. Many times we come to work and we're just there. just working. Our mind is not there, our spirit is not there. Some of us don't even want to be there. We find ourselves in places where we really don't want to be. And that is not a good way to live, to be honest. As holistic leaders, we want to live and lead in such a way that we are in wherever we are fully, spirit, soul, and body, fully immersed in our leadership experience. That's how we can make lasting impact for both ourselves and everyone around us. Thank you very much. Any questions? If there are no questions, I'll hand over to the host.
I believe that there will be questions, contributions. Please, this is an opportunity for us to ask your question. Our facilitator is still very much around to take them. Thank you very much for your thoughts, your questions, your contributions. We still have about 15 minutes. Please go ahead with that. Thank you.
If we don't have questions, it's fine. We can also reach out later.
Okay. Just a follow-up. No. You're not handing over that soon.
Okay.
Just okay. Yes, please go ahead, Mark. Momire, your hand is raised. You can go ahead. Unmute yourself, Mark.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Thank you. I joined. My name is. I think I joined just at the right time. This morning, I woke up and thought through what I am doing, as an endeavor. And I asked myself, was I running a legacy business or doing something that would outlive me? And I think I responded to myself by saying, even if I get my business round to be a legacy business, up to what generation would remember me? And that sets my mind thinking. So listening to your parting words, it has to now do with how impactful my present work is to other people that I'll leave behind, even if I love to leave the business behind as well. But I think the more important thing now is how well I impact the life of people around me. So thank you so much. That resonates very well with me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. I can see a question. He says, how does holistic leadership intertwine with emotional intelligence? Oh, a lot. Because holistic leadership is basically about finding a good balance between your personal and professional work, personal and professional life. At the end of the day, how do we even do anything without emotional intelligence? How do we relate with people without emotional intelligence? How do we manage situations without emotional intelligence? How do we bring a balance in our personal and professional life without emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the heart of holistic leadership because it's basically about handling people, handling problems, handling situations. Yeah, so that's how they are intertwined. Is the heart of holistic leadership.
Oh, thank you so much for this. I think I can finally unmute myself. It was an amazing session. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. And how can people reach you? So you've talked about balancing a lot. Where can people connect with you online and offline if they have questions?
You can reach out to me on any of my social platforms at Amaka The Global Force. Instagram.
So, on Instagram, please send her a DM to just say you love that session. I think it's always good we encourage people that come on stage to share, especially about a topic like personal mastery that we all need. Most of us focus on the part of leadership, but we neglect what I call the soft part of leadership. So it was good hearing about what you shared today about leadership and about leaving a legacy. So I have a question for you. So my
Okay.
question is, if someone has heard all this and has said, I've never been a great leader, I've always led with first because that's all I know.
So I
Yes,
see.
because that's all that has been taught to me. That's all I have experienced all my life. I come from a military background, but now that you're looking at this from a different perspective, I am keen to learn more. What would you say to that person?
Change begins in a minute, to be honest. I believe that change begins with the decision. If you just wake up now, you say, today I'm not going to eat beans anymore. If you decide you're not going to eat beans anymore, it's as simple as that. You just every day wake up and remind yourself, 2 days ago, I decided not to eat beans anymore, so I'm not going to eat beans anymore. I don't think there is anything particularly wrong with leading with force. There are times when force is necessary. And that is why I am so much a big fan of balance. Every part is important. You don't throw away one part for the other. Every part is important. And that is where emotional intelligence really comes in, knowing when to use what. That's why I also personally don't say this is my leadership style. Or when they talk about, sorry to anybody who is a parenting coach here, when people talk about only gentle parenting as it is, described, it's not like there's anything wrong with gentle parenting. There's nothing wrong with gentle parenting, but balance is important. Understanding when to use what, understanding that no matter what you do, other people also have the right to react however they want to react. So if you decide that you want to use any style, you understand that people's reaction to it would be different and you must be open to accepting their reactions as well. So yeah, it's all about balance. But if you decide that, oh, I don't think this style I use is the best throughout, I want to balance it out, of course, by all means, you have the freedom to wake up and change your style. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. I love that because yes, it's about balance, understanding that there is no method that is totally right or totally wrong. You can learn from the different methods and make your own way, but do it for the person you are. And context also matters in any situation. So the context also plays a major role. And if someone is like, okay, are there resources or books that you will recommend for them if they are looking to learn things from a different perspective? What books would you let them start with?
To be honest, off the top of my head, I don't have any book to recommend. But if there's anyone that wants a book, you can reach out to me privately. I will come up with something, of course.
All right. Okay. So if you do want a book, just reach out to Chiamaka and she would recommend one for you. I think we've done a great job asking.
No, no, not at all, ma. Just a question. Yes, the concept of legacy as a today um, perspective got me thinking. So I would like to know, are there actionable steps one can take? How can one um, see legacy, do legacy, even when the person is still alive in this part, in this side of eternity? Thank you.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. On the slide, the creating a legacy slide, we have an action point, which is focus on leadership with impact by nurturing talents and fostering a culture of overall growth. So, one take home can be to see that whatever you are doing, you are replicating it in another person. Like, let me use an example in my business. Because I do a lot of things, I don't have the luxury of time to be able to personally do each thing, but I know how to do most of these things well. So what I do is I train my staff. Like, the first thing I do to anybody that works with me is I train you like as if I do not exist. I train you in such a way, and the way I hand over in such a way that no, they cannot even reach me. They will have to reach you. So when the problems come to you, you'll be forced to solve them yourself. Sometimes my team comes to me with questions like, oh, how do I do X, Y, Z? I'm like, you tell me, how will you do it? Because at the end of the day, one of the ways to create a legacy is by nurturing other people, ensuring that other people can do what you do in such a way that if for any reason you are not available, you have a like what Seka Africa is doing with OSP and so many other platforms. Seka Africa can actually go to sleep and they have speakers that can speak wherever they are called upon, because they have been able to create this environment for people to be able to thrive. So that's basically what it's about, fostering a culture, teaching, nurturing another generation. Thank you.
Does that answer the question?
Yes.
All right, yes, you can.
It answered the question, but it also brought up another question. If you don't mind, just one last. Okay, so at what point do you where do you strike a balance between delegation and supervision within the context of building a legacy from today's standpoint?
Are you asking how I handle it, or just generally?
Yes, how you handle it, and maybe you can extend to general information.
Okay, so for me, what I do is I supervise in such a way that I can see through what my team is doing. Like, we have communication channels that I am in copy of, so I know exactly what is happening. So that's how I supervise. I delegate all the time. In fact, I delegate a lot of things in both my personal and professional life, but I supervise by being in copy of every single action and thing, because I want to know when they have reached their limits. And then when they have reached their limit, I can step in. Sometimes I step in by communicating with them directly and telling them, oh, this is how you should handle this thing. At this point, you've made a mistake in so things. This is how you handle it next time, but this is how you should handle it going forward. So that is how I balance supervision and delegation. But as for delegation, oh God, I can call myself chief delegating officer. I delegate literally everything. If I can delegate myself, delegate my hands and legs, the use of my hands and legs, I will do that as well. So I come in when I know that they have issues, then I step in. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did, but I won't ask another. Yes, you did.
Okay.
My 45 minutes not over.
So you still have like 7 minutes. So
why did I not make my slide bigger now?
Well, articulate and the distance, but yeah, it was quite good. From what everybody is saying.
I'm joking.
Thanks for the presentation. Awesome session. So let's give A.k.a. the floor to ask his last question.
No problem.
No, I don't have any. She has done justice to that. I think the presentation overall has spoken to some of the matters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can share my slide if anybody needs it too.
Yes, please. That would be great, because I was going to ask if you could get the slide.
Yes.
But thank you very much for your time. If people want to work with you one-on-one, they can just send a DM, right?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. All right then. So if you want to work with her, reach out. Remember, I said reach out, please. Let's not be stingy with our messages. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Over and out. I'll be on the background listening to other people. Yeah. I'll just go with my video.
I think this was a fantastic presentation. I think this presentation was concise, but it's kind of a wake-up call for us to achieve balance. I like the fact that it talked about building a legacy, and the fact that sometimes if we want to duplicate ourselves, it starts with the small things. We can't be everywhere. So as leaders, as entrepreneurs, one thing you should start thinking about is, if my team needs me to survive all the time, are they thriving? In order for your team to thrive and for you to leverage skills and the skills of everybody you have on your team, it's time to start delegating and allowing them figure it out by themselves. So that's one thing I took from this conversation. And to me, it was amazing because I love talking about holistic productivity and self-mastery. So I like the way she talked about intentional well-being and about self-care. As entrepreneurs, sometimes we neglect ourselves. Self-care is not something that is feminine and that you have to buy a candle and light a candle. It goes beyond lighting a candle. In order for your business to thrive, you have to schedule in certain things like rest. Most leaders do not rest. Most entrepreneurs, we are working 24/7 because if I don't do it, no one will. So I think this presentation kind of gave us that opportunity to reflect and think about ourselves. So I have a question for everybody. When last did you even take half a day off to just rest and rest and do nothing and think nothing about the business? It's quite difficult to do as entrepreneurs. And if we're honest, that lack of rest kind of impacts us in a way that we don't want it to. So we'll soon have the next speaker, but one thing I will add to what she said is reflect. Take time to reflect on what you've done and what has worked with your team so that you can start learning from your own data and not someone else's data. So thank you, Chiamaka, for such an amazing session to talk to us about resilience and great, talk to us about intentional well-being and about leaving a legacy because you are somebody great today. Don't wait for the perfect time. So we're going to go on a 15-minute break soon, but when we come back, we've got another speaker. And I don't know if she's in the house yet.